All right, everybody, welcome. If you're new to my channel, thanks for being here. I hope that I leave you more encouraged, more aware, and uplift you, and also to returning listeners and new subscribers. Thanks for being here with me. I am Deanna, otherwise known as Lady Virgo. My channel, Divine Divination, was inspired and aspired through many transformations in my life. And so it is always my intention to bring forth encouragement, upliftment, and even awareness as we are tapping into the as above astrology and as below and as within. We are cosmic beings. And so I always remind my listeners of that. And so we are building our way into the full moon in Scorpio. This is an intense sign. It is fixed water on April 26th at 11:32 p.m. And as we are building up into this energy, we can feel a transformation brewing within us. And full moons are always a culmination of things that we have planted. And I do believe it was the new moon in November of 2020 that we are going to be feeling this culmination of. Many of us are very aware on the earth plane that human beings are super intense. There's a lot of hidden deception going on. And so I always encourage my listeners to trust your own inner compass, trust your guts, your God-given intuition more than ever. And I'm feeling called to also share with everybody that it is more important than ever to claim your sovereignty, to not fall into being a follower of whatever is presented, especially currently, and kind of taking our leadership roles and embracing our authenticity. When I was tapping into the energy of this full moon in Scorpio, one of the things that came up for me to share today is a deep dive, not only psychologically, but emotionally, into the traumas that many of us have been witnessing, many of us have been experiencing, specifically over 2020 and 2021. So that was being brought to my awareness that this building into this full moon in Scorpio, there can be an intensity, like I said, not only emotionally, but psychologically, of like, whoa, like one of those WTF moments, like what are we all really, what have we been witnessing, right, in the earth plane? What have we been witnessing in our bodies over the last year or so? So with that being said, I'm going to pull up the chart for the full moon in Scorpio. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Excuse me. Share the screen. And what I'm covering today with this full moon in Scorpio and highlighting is the significance of this coming up, not only in the earth plane, but also in our bodies. And the reason being is at the time of this full moon, the full moon is always illuminated by wherever the sun is. We have the fixed sign of Taurus, and there's a stellium going on currently with this full moon in Scorpio. So we have the sun, the planet of Uranus, which is quick change, innovation. It can be awakenings. We have the planet of Venus, which is, you know, beauty and our value. Mercury, the planet of communication, and also Black Moon Lilith, all piled up in the fixed earth sign, illuminating over here on this Scorpio energy. So that sun, where the sun is in Taurus with all that lineup of planets, is communicating directly over to its opposite sign of Scorpio, illuminating this moon. We have a fixed water sign, and we have a fixed earth sign. Both of these energies are feminine, receptive, energies. Emotions could be very high, specifically adding to that because we had Mars, the planet of action, which is representative of Aries, move into the sign of Cancer, also of feminine receptive energy. Mars is not exactly comfortable here. So this could bring up kind of with this inner reflection of our emotions and psychologically what the last specific year has really brought up for many of us, a little bit of anger, and that may come through emotionally. It's huge right now because we also, the ruling planet of Scorpio is Pluto, which is over in Capricorn, and that planet will be going retrograde. On which day is it? All planets have been direct, and Pluto is stationed to go retrograde on the 27th, so the day after this full moon. So talk about intensity. For me, I feel like this full moon will be bringing about the most intense full moon of the year of 2021. Transformation, deep hidden things, I believe, with Pluto going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which is our structures and that top-down type deal, that we will start seeing more things be revealed that were hidden. And so again, speaking with the energy of Mars, which is the ruling planet of Aries, we just came out of Aries season, now into Taurus season, and Mars moves into a place where he's really not comfortable. So because Cancer is a very deep emotional, again, feminine side, you could have a little bit of anger come up with the reflection of, like I said, the WTF moments of what have we just all been through. And the reason I feel it's so powerful is because of this planet of Uranus being that planet of change and innovation and kind of the wild card energy of what you think may be can be suddenly pulled out from beneath of you, because it is the planet of quick change, electricity, lightning, great awakenings, and it also can trigger some aha moments. So there's always lower aspects and higher aspects of any of these, and where it is important for us is to bring this into our awareness so that we can work with this energy. Full moons, new moons are normally a time where it's more inner, because so much energy is taking place in these fixed signs. Taurus, Scorpio being very deep, Taurus being our senses and our body, and even like food and what we value, self-worth, your value. I find that this full moon is not going to be really one of those that where you're out there. I feel it's going to be a lot of inner psychological and emotional reflection. And there may not be too much forward action with a lot of people with Mars transiting into the sign of Cancer the day after this moon. Again, we have the continued Uranus Saturn square, which is, you know, the old ways, but because it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is also ruled by Uranus, the conversation, with its red line here, being in a square with that, it can, you know, indicate friction and tension of more of that, how we used to do things and how we're going to change and innovate. Many of us have, with this Venus going into Taurus, started reflecting on what we truly value. A lot of endings in not only relationship with yourself changing, but relationship with others, relationship to your values, relationship with our food and our everyday necessities, right? Taurus is the energy of earth, the body, the senses, the trees, the planet itself, and how it sustains us. And so I really feel an intensity here as well, especially when I realized that Black Moon Lilith is alongside of this lineup of planets in the fixed Earth, feminine sign, speaking in its opposition to the moon in Scorpio. And not only that, but squaring up with Saturn. And then the ruling planet of the Scorpio moon, of course, the conversation, seeing where that's going, slowing down to go retrograde the very following day in Capricorn. So to me, I feel the pause in the retrograde motion, which is just an illusion, but the energy of it going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, more friction coming about, more people starting to be rebellious with this Uranus energy in Taurus against these structures here, maybe more information, like because we have Mercury, the planet of communication, also in Taurus, more people, more of the body of the people getting, information or communication and finding the hidden things that have been hidden coming to the light. So a very deep psychologically and emotional full moon approaching. We're already probably feeling the buildup of that energy, I would say. And so just that's my interpretation and kind of what I meditated upon before I came on to share about this. It is a super full moon. That means it's very close to Earth. So an uptick in seismic activity. And again, with Uranus here and where we are at the galactic center and the current placement of where Earth is in the photon belt. If you want to learn very, very detailed information about that, you can go to Joseph P. Anthony's YouTube channel. He did a very, very, very good informative video on that recently. So, Aquarius is about that, the people, more of an inequality, known as the water bear, has Saturn there. So what on the high aspect of this, I feel like many of us can grow from the experiences that we've all been through, healing our traumas and taking that wisdom forward with us, especially with Saturn being in this conversation of tension between the body and what we value and how we can innovate and change and shift. Again, Black Moon Lilith being there as well. It could be some deep things that come up within you that just totally send you on a different trajectory. And that's where you have to be open to surrender with the Uranus energy, because Uranus is change. The earth plane is certain of one thing, that we are in constant, continual change. And that is not always easy for the fixed signs. So if you have planets 3 to 11 degrees or right around there of any of the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you will most likely be feeling the intensity of this full moon more than everybody. But it just all depends on how sensitive you are. It can be highlighted. Again, on the high aspect of this energy with the Scorpio full moon, it can bring about great transformation. On the lower aspect, it can be, control, manipulation, jealousy. So also one more thing before I go on to the Sabian symbol. Taurus is about value, my values, my resources, and Scorpio is about shared resources as well. So keep that in mind. And always on these accesses of the opposition, we're wanting to find common ground in the middle. And that's how you balance it out. So let me end this and go back into full mode. So thank you guys for being here with me. Tapping into this energy was like very intense, and because I have a moon sign Taurus, I still did, as I tapped into the energy going, is this just for me that it's going to be so intense? And the answer was no. This is a collective, because we are really reflecting upon the traumas, and we're also emotionally invested in like, what have we really been through over the past year or so? And excuse me, a lot of people getting frustrated and really tired of the shit, going, you know what? I'm going to leave this job. It doesn't resonate with me. And it's kind of like, you know, the energies that want people, mankind, to stay small and not evolve in a more harmonious way, and that want to control and dominate and dictate and put people into fear, are really clamping down, and they're really starting to share through communication as well such outlandish orders upon the collective. And so what I feel is going to happen eventually is that more and more people will wake up to what is happening for the control, fear, domination, and those that think that, you know, their bloodline is more important than somebody else's bloodline, or, you know, barbaric Gates, who is a eugenics and thinking that it's his duty, pretending like he's a humanitarian, and then look in the other direction, and his dark agendas are so outlandish and just, you know, sociopath type behavior. We're seeing this because the light shining upon it, I believe, as above, so below. And, you know, God, the universe is always the truth and the way. And because of where we are in this photon belt, it appears that it is getting worse. And to me, I'm one of those that's actually, no, it's always been like this. It's just getting the light shining upon it, and it feels like it's getting worse because everything has to be revealed. And that's another thing with the Scorpio energy, right? It's a deep sign. It can be like on the lower aspect, jealousy, control, domination. And where is this ruling planet of Scorpio? In the sign of Capricorn, getting ready to go retrograde. So I don't know whether to suggest buckle up, buttercups, or to surrender, because I feel the intensities building. So I'm going to go ahead and share the Sabian symbol for this full moon in Scorpio. If you're new today, I share the Sabian symbols for the new moons and the full moons. And excuse me. The moon shining across the lake. The key word is report. Moon magic. The theme for this full moon in Scorpio. Excuse me, my sinuses. It was 70 some degrees here in my state, and now it was 23 last night. So talk about pressure. The symbol speaks to magic, transformation, inspiration, and the healing power of romance. The image of the moon shining across the lake alludes to mystical experience, and it portrays a quiet beauty that softens the heart and lifts the soul to shimmering realms of loveliness. There is also a suggestion of regression in this symbol, as the moon reflects the light of the sun, which in turn is reflected by the lake. So again, I feel like a lot of us are going to go deep, not only psychologically, but also emotionally, reflecting upon everything. Deep, hidden, or not hidden traumas, right? So, thus, this reflection of a reflection can symbolize the past. It can symbolize memory, reverie. I had to look that up, which is, reverie is abstracted musing or daydreaming. So contemplation, reflecting, nostalgia, and the unconscious. On a practical level, this symbol can indicate being caught up in the mood of the moment, or temporarily transcending everyday problems through a shift of consciousness to a gentler and more peaceful or mellow thought. On the positive aspect, At its highest, this symbol represents tranquility, serenity, and a special gift for finding imaginative solutions to the problems of life. How can you utilize this on the positive? You can be not so attached to the physical because of all of the fuckery that we've all been witnessing, which is actually crimes against humanity, which is very traumatic. Excuse me. You can tether to the divine. You can contemplate, you can meditate, you can visualize, you can set intentions. Even though this is a full moon, setting an intention, it may be a whole new path for you. On the lower aspect or the negative aspect of this full moon, tendency to speak in vague and nebulous terms as a way of avoiding commitment or taking a stand, or a simple pipe dreaming, head in the clouds witlessness. So this again is not the time to be a follower. If you are going to be led astray, this would be the time, because of all the trickery, because of all the deception, you know, get this around your profile picture, show that you took this thing, and it is so dark. It is not, it's not good, guys. So make sure your head's not in the clouds. This is not time to be a follower. It is time to shift your perspective, shift your values, and be a freaking leader. Do not be scared to stand out from the crowd right now, because you could be very well deceived at this time and led to slaughter. Today, the ascent is on romance and reconciliation. You may be feeling especially nostalgic and reflective. Emotional peels are particularly effective. This is a day of magic. The opportunity with this full moon in Scorpio is your greatest advantage lies in going with the flow and following your heart. Take time for reflection, light a candle, and set the mood. This is not the time to make impulsive decisions. This is not the time to say, they're doing it, it must be okay. Remember that, you guys. The risk at this time is guard against letting yourself get depressed over what could have been or what is now over. Make room in your life for what could be, if you let it. So reflecting upon regrets, don't let it pull you down. Reflecting upon what's gone on, don't let it pull you down. You know, Scorpio is a deep sign, but it's also about mysticism. It's also about a deep connection, because of it being a water sign. Not getting too fixed with your emotions, thinking this is the way it is, because that Uranus energy in Taurus that's illuminating this full moon is a wild card, and it's a quick, fast shift change. So remember that. The stepping stones are reflection, contemplation, serenity, the past memory, reverie, nostalgia, romance, yearning, desire, inspiration, magic mirror, mystery, the unconscious, and psychological realignment. Very deep, very powerful, totally accurate. These are always accurate, but as I meditated upon it, and because I do realize that the psychological depth for many of us, if you have a lot of fixed energy within you, specifically the Scorpio and Taurus energy, but also Leo, Aquarius, we really have to tap in. We really have to listen to our body because of that Taurus energy and fixed earth, listening to our body, listening to our senses, not following the masses, being led into slaughter as a metaphor, right? And really allowing your wisdom through the Saturn energy in Aquarius, to bring forth wisdom. It's the elder energy in its higher aspects. So bringing through the wisdom of all of the things in your life, and specifically over this last year, on ways that you can go forward, perhaps with a new value system. Perhaps some of you need to say no. Again, with Scorpio being a water energy, all people need healthy boundaries, not only with themselves, but others. But because Scorpio is deep and fixed emotions, fixed beliefs, you really have to be open, because it won't serve you well if you get too fixed on ideas or beliefs in one certain way or another. And that's another thing too that I want to mention. Again, the North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius still at this time. It's about small community. I would personally think twice about long distance travel, especially with all of the freaking insanity going on in the world, keeping it small. Again, not being ordered or dictated by those people. I always say that the powers that think they are, because it's false power, trying to dominate, dictate, and put the fear into you. Again, Black Moon Lilith being with all of these planets, the stellium of planets in Taurus, fixed Earth, can be, you know, people going into fear again. And so the song by Queen keeps coming up to me. It's time to break free. I want to break free. And so meditate and contemplate. Don't be too impulsive. Again, you could be feeling very, very emotional at this time because of Mars going into Cancer. It could bring up frustration for some people. So just keep that in mind. So we're just tapping into the energy. I said my prayers before I came on today for some extended messages here with what we shared today on this full moon in Scorpio energy. We're always thankful and grateful for the encouragement, the awareness. Full moon in Scorpio energy. And then I think it's just crazy. I didn't realize it till today that Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio, goes retrograde. We've been retrograde free for quite some time. And so the very next day, first we got the card of Wheel of Fortune. So if you can take this time to meditate and contemplate, and it's kind of probably going to push a lot of people inner anyway, because Scorpio is such a deep, reflective sign anyway. If you can tap into the higher purpose, the divine purpose, your divine purpose, perhaps with the Taurus energy, maybe needing to make some adjustments in your life, maybe needing to reevaluate, you know, what we valued yesterday may not be what we truly value today. And so being open to that shift, to that change, will bring forth, we got the destined opportunity with the Wheel of Fortune card. I feel for those that can take the advice, to take the word of not being led, that can not hold back from stepping away from the pack, will have destined doors open. And if you don't feel it already, there is such a huge split right now with the consciousness of humanity. And more than ever, we need to truly get back to the simplicity of what we value and how this planet, right, with it being in Taurus, how the planet sustains us, how our body sustains us, and take that forward on some new opportunities with this Wheel of Fortune. And if you could see it a little bit better, this camera on my laptop's not as good as on my phone, but there's a lot of green here. So heart, listening to your intuition, transmuting and transforming, and with the Scorpio energy, transforming the afflictions, the wounds, the psychological fuckery that we've all been put through, and allow it to take you forward with your wisdom, and allow it to be an opportunity at this time with this full moon energy. Next, we got the Nine of Wands, trials and tribulations. So, like it's shared in the Sabian symbol book, the lower aspect of this energy can be just psychological torment. It could it could take, and you know, that's another thing too. Mental and emotional health is so important right now. You know, these assholes get on mainstream, which I don't listen to 24/7, drill in the fear, drill in the bad things of the world, drill never anything positive. And it can take a toll on you psychologically, emotionally. So if you're feeling that because of the trials and tribulations, please hear my words to hold on, to invest in yourself, because this has definitely been felt by the collective. And even on your individual level, it is not to be ignored. Your feelings, the things you've been through are valid. But when you can just step into your divinity and connect every day, you will rise up out of it. Let's do another one from this Scorpio full moon energy. Again, super full moon. So very close to Earth. King of Pentacles, stable. In traditional tarot, I don't know which this is affiliated with, but it's very in sync with what we're speaking about today, because Taurus is fixed Earth. Taurus wants stability. Taurus wants to feel the energy of, you know, am I safe in my body? Am I safe in the world? And so that stability, isn't that beautiful? Look at her nurturing that baby. That stability has to be something that you work on within yourself, how you value yourself, what makes you feel stable, because the outside world, especially in the consciousness that we're in right now with this war of those that who think they are, if they're not going to keep playing on an a level playing ground for the betterment of all humanity, they're never going to give you the stability that you seek. You have to provide that for yourself. Turn off your TVs, turn off the live visions, the programming, because for me and mine, at the end of the day, we have to be the ones that make ourselves feel stable, that make ourselves feel valued, because no amount of likes, no amount of people following you is going to soothe, is going to validate you as you can validate yourself as a co-creator. The divine, the God consciousness, the Christ consciousness will be where you get your stability. So again, it's a really crazy, because I've been speaking to myself a lot about root chakra stuff, right? And I share often on my channel about it's not only this lifetime, but many of us are healing past lifetime stuff, and many of us have been through many things where there was a domination of those few that want to control and dominate and put you into camps and tell you that you need to be tracked and traced 24/7, put a little star on you. And so it's bringing up that energy, and we have to transmute that fear in order to, you know, release it to the divine and keep trusting the divine. Powerful times for sure. With the two eyes, it's very alarming. But as a earth dweller, that if you're awake or a light worker, an old soul, keep reminding not only yourself, but others that it ain't getting worse, it's getting revealed. We're going to do one more from my new Shaman's Dream Oracle, and then we are done. I hope that you utilize the energy and the message shared here today for the full moon in Scorpio, for the betterment of yourself, for awareness. Skywriting the fates. What a beautiful card. And it looks like the moon is in the background even. It is written in the sky that you have a destiny. You are being invited to explore certain aspects of life unique to you and you alone. That does not mean that your path will be easy, paved with gold, and littered with diamonds, nor does this predict that the journey will be treacherous. It is just your path with parts that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are. In this way, whatever you are faced with, every single aspect of your life is perfect in its imperfection. Not good or bad, neither in flow nor blocked, this nor that. See your life as a series of opportunities rather than an obstacle course. Wow, is that true? Once you master the skills of non-judgment, you open to the power of curiosity, unencumbered by the burdens of yesterday's fears. As you look ahead into the potential of your future, wow. Yes, you still need to be brave. Right now, you are facing a critical moment in time with an opportunity to meet your fate, a choice point where you expand your influence and your capacity for abundance, love, and purposeful action. Now is the moment to leap into it, whether it be a heart connection, a call to creativity, or a new identity in your work or another area of your life. With all your heart and soul, your success is surely written in the stars. In order to bring your destiny to fruition, you must jump into the adventure with both feet and do your part. Amen to that. I said, with the Venus energy in Taurus, we are really reflecting internally about what we've all been through. And for many of us who are awakened, we're choosing new paths. We are going to write our destinies. We're not going to allow, excuse me, those very few to dictate, dominate, tell us how to live, how we can breathe, how we can't breathe, tell us to get ourselves lined up to be a guinea pig, right? I'm all about your free will and your free choices. You can do whatever you want to, but when there's people dominating and giving you no choice and taking your voice away through censorship, right? It's time to skywrite. It's time for you to write your own destiny. I send this to you guys with so much love. Take very good care of yourself with this full moon that we have approaching, and get by water, and it wouldn't hurt y'all to ground outside. So if you can't get by water, get yourself into an Epsom salt bath, drink plenty of water, take very good care of yourself. Meditation and contemplation would be highly suggested at this time, and not be acting out of impulse, and not to be getting led blindly by others. It ain't the time to be influenced by others. It's time to listen into your own intuition and allow that to be what your destiny is. I send this to you guys with so much love. Shalom.